I'm Colette from Spence Accounting. We are an accountancy-based business. We are based in Lincoln and in Grimsby, but we actually use technology, which means we service clients all over the world. So from our point of view, it doesn't matter where you are or where we are, we can help you with your business needs. Today, we're going to be looking at how we can use technology to manage your finances better. So the topics that we're going to be covering is why we need to look at using technology, the types of software that are available to you, apps and additional products that can be tagged onto the pieces of software to make your businesses more functional, how we can get paid more efficiently, and looking at power of automation to make your business run really, really smoothly. So as I've already said, we've got premises in Lincoln and Grimsby, but actually we service clients all over the world. We've got clients in Hong Kong, Botswana, India, and we're able to look after all of these clients because we use technology. And I don't know if your dream, a bit like mine is, when I set out in business, it was to be able to work from anywhere, whenever I wanted to. So my long-term goal is to actually have a holiday home abroad somewhere and be able to spend 6 to 8 weeks a year, but still being able to run my business. And actually, I don't have the holiday home yet, but I do have the ability that I can work from anywhere as and when I choose. And I want you to be able to achieve that goal and dream as well. A bit like Richard Branson, he sat on his own island, but he can manage all of his businesses and he knows what's going on. So why wouldn't you want to do the same? So let's move forward then. So why are we having to use technology? So out of the two of you that we've got present at the minute, are you already using software? If you want to put your hand up or show us your picture and maybe comment. Are you using software at the moment? So I can't see any answers. Sorry.
No, sorry, Colette. No, I didn't. Nothing in the chat as yet.
Just in the chat. Okay.
Happy to share what we're doing at Winning Moves. Yeah, we are using. We moved from Sage to Zero some years back, and using that pretty well. Certainly giving us a lot more control and access for people to get into invoices and bills and expenses and so on.
That's great. A lot of businesses are still using paper format to keep their records. They might actually be using software, but one of the things that as a business that you need to be looking towards doing is using technology to manage your finances. So during the COVID-19 pandemic, we've all learned how to use technology a lot more, and probably pushed us a lot closer to where we would be instead of where we would be 5 years down the line. But obviously we're already adopting technology right now. So things like Zoom, Teams, we're all using this. And 6 months, 9 months ago, a lot of people hadn't actually heard of these products. So if you think about how fast that pace has actually changed, then you need to consider where you need to be. So back in April 2019, the government actually started to put legislation into place called Making Tax Digital. And now today I'm not actually going to be talking about making tax digital per se, but this is why it's really, really important for you to start thinking about using technology in your business. Now, if you're not a VAT registered business, you're probably thinking, well, that doesn't apply to me. Well, actually, you need to rethink this. So what I want to do is give you a little bit of a scenario. So obviously, we live in the UK and we have the government who manages all our finances. So if we put this into a different perspective and say, actually, the UK is a business. Currently, the UK allows us to complete our accounts, and we have 12 months to report, And then we get a further 9 months before we actually send that information over to HM Revenue and Customs. So technically there's about 21 months before they will actually get paid any tax that you have earned. It's actually quite a long time if you think about it. So if you had to wait for 21 months before you got paid, would your business survive? And the answer to that is probably not. You know, we struggle with 30 days and 60 days. So from a reality point of view, why would you not change the way that your business model works? And talking the business model, we're talking about the government business model, to increase how quickly you get paid. Now, because UK legislation means we can't change things overnight and things have to be approved, and we have to get people on board to new projects, and this takes time because we all don't like change. It's not something that we can turn a switch on and everybody be ready to go. So back in April 2019, the first stage of making tax digital hit. And what that meant was, if you were a VAT registered business and had a turnover of over 85,000, you had to start using technology to submit your VAT returns. Prior to this, you could use the government portal to submit your VAT return. Not anymore. You actually have to use software to do it. That is the first stage. There are several other stages coming. So the next stage is April 2022, and you might be thinking, that's ever such a long way away. Look how fast this year's actually gone. And also you need to prepare. So from April 2022, if you are a VAT registered business and your turnover is under 85,000, so you will then have to use software to file your VAT returns. So we're bringing in smaller businesses here. And then from April 2023, all businesses with a turnover over £10,000, and one thing I want you to think about here, this includes property income. So if you have clients or friends, or you have rental property yourself, you will have to report this using digital software. So every single business by the end of 2023 will be reporting electronically to HMRC what you are earning on a regular basis. Now, the reason HMRC have actually chosen VAT registered businesses is because you're already used to reporting on a quarterly basis. But as I say, they want to change their business model, and why wouldn't you? So the first stage is, let's get you reporting on a quarterly basis. The next stage, although it's not been announced, and why, but it will come, is that you will probably need to be paying your tax, not just your VAT, but all taxes on a quarterly basis. So just to explain what's happening, first, the VAT returns go quarterly. Then, as a business, both a limited company, sole trader, and partnership, you will be reporting on a quarterly basis your tax return. So your self-assessment tax return, your corporation tax return. So, and if you think that HMRC are just going to want that information without you paying tax on those quarters, then obviously that's not going to happen. You are going to be paying tax. And especially now we've got a big debt in the country too. So, you know, think about that, think about how quickly they want to get paid. So adapting software in your business and using it is actually going to be a legal requirement for all businesses come 2023. Now, some businesses have used software that is bridging software that will allow you to submit VAT returns without using the full all singing program, and can turn a spreadsheet into the required data to submit to HMRC. And this type of software I call a plaster software, because we're just sticking a plaster over it, but we're not actually addressing the issue. So if you're using a piece of software like that, you are still going to need to use some form of proper accounting software in the long-term future. So the sooner you adopt this and the sooner you get used to using the software, the easier it will be for you and your business. So hopefully you can see why it's such a key part of your business model moving forward, and hopefully understand why the government are making these changes. Because if we can change from being paid as a business to 21 months to every 3 months or every 90 days, that's a much better business model and a cash flow injection into the business. So let's have a look at actual software. Why are we using software? So obviously I've just talked about the need for it from HM Revenue and Customs and what they will require, but there is other benefits for you as a business to be able to use the software. So if you are already using software, you'll already see some of those benefits. So by using software, you can actually keep track of your income, what you're earning. The software will allow you to raise your sales invoices or collate your receipts. If you are an online business, you can actually collate your receipts on here. If you're not VAT registered, if you're a small business and not VAT registered, you do need to actually keep track of your income. Again, for VAT purposes, so VAT is assessed on a rolling 12-month basis, and that means that we're always looking at how much you're earning. So if your earnings go to 85,000, you need to register for VAT, or if you're going to be near that threshold within 30 days, you have to register for VAT. Quite often, a lot of businesses actually don't realize that they need to monitor their income and end up going over their VAT thresholds a lot sooner than what they think, and it costs the business a huge amount of money. Imagine not charging VAT on your sales and then me telling you, actually, you should have registered for VAT 6 months ago, and now you've got 6 months of VAT to pay, but you haven't got that VAT from your client or your customer, and you can't recover that. That means you've lost 20% of your potential revenue. That's a big, big decrease in your income. So if you can manage and track your income, you can keep check of all of this. Not only can you sort of track the total income, but if your software is set up correctly, you can actually manage specific income streams. So if you have more than one income stream, you can actually see which one is doing better, and that will also allow you to promote different areas of your business at different times. Again, really imperative at this moment in time is to look at the different streams of income. A lot of us have had to adapt our businesses to enable us to sell online, do more deliveries, whatever it might be. And we need to make sure that actually it is a viable business proposition still. So keeping track of the different type of income is an excellent way for using the software. Obviously, if we've got income, then we've got our expenses, and we need to keep track of those. So have a look at what you're spending your money on. Again, really important at the moment with Brexit looming, and what we have to think about is the import and exports that you might be having to look at increased costs and increased cost margins, which will affect your overall profit margins. And at the minute, we're all kind of still in this bubble going, what is actually going to happen? Because nobody knows, because no decisions have actually been made. But do understand that actually over the next 12 months at least, a lot of products that you are buying will probably increase because of the cost of importing. So if you've got import duty to pay on those goods bringing in from Europe, or even if you're exporting, you still have export costs. You need to make sure that you put that into your overall margins. So have a think about what you're selling those products for. So when you are entering into the software, what you're buying, you can see and keep track of individual cost headings. So if you want to look at a specific product, by categorizing it, you can actually do that and keep a really good eye on where you're spending, and then adapt your pricing strategy to your customers as you need to. So yeah, it helps you really make decisions, swift decisions about your day-to-day finances. Traditionally with accounts, most businesses, they will look after their sales and make sure they're paid their sales, but they kind of forget about all the other bits and pieces. And it's only when they come to the end of the year, they hand their accounts into their accountant, and then they get them back. So we're talking 21 months, going back to the 21-month time scale. So by the time you get the information from your accountant how well you've performed, the data is already out of date. It means nothing to you. Where if you are using software, it's live data. You can make real-time decisions about the business, how you want to move forward. Do you need extra financing and borrowing? So all of this is really, really key at this moment. Again, software, if the data is in there, you can produce excellent reports, things like cash flow forecasts, management accounts, all giving you huge amounts of data to make decisions within your business. One of the things that we also do with our clients is advise them how much tax they've got to pay. So again, if you've got to wait 21 months before you know how much tax you've got to pay, and then you end up with a big tax bill and you've got to find all of that money in one go, that's not great planning from a business point of view. So if you work with your accountant when you're using software, they can actually advise you on a regular basis where you are going to be if you keep doing what you're doing and how much tax you're going to have to pay. Or if you want to save tax, because let's be honest, if we don't have to pay it, why would you want to? What you can spend money on in the business. So you might want to look at investing back into the business, which in turn saves you tax. And as I say, by using all of the software and the data in there, you can make all of those real-time decisions. I've already kind of touched on the managing your profit margin quite a bit. As I say, import and export is going to have a huge impact, even if you do not import or export yourself. If you are buying products in the UK and they've been imported, potentially your costs are going to go up, so you do need to manage it. If you're using software, once you've got used to it, it should actually save you time. It will make you work differently in your business, and instead of just working in the business, it will actually give you an opportunity to work on your business by making decisions where you want to go, how you want to grow, how you want to develop. The other thing that software allows you to do, if you use it properly, you will have a database of customers because you're raising invoices to your customers. So you'll have information, their names, their addresses. You'll be able to see what they bought from you in the past. So when you are trying to generate more income, it's always much easier to generate income from existing clients as opposed to having to win continuous new business. So if somebody bought something from you 12 months ago, perhaps, sending them a message, as long as obviously you've fulfilled your GDPR requirements, send them a message to say, we have an offer on this product, and they might buy from you again. So it's really simple marketing technique. But you've got that data already in your accounting software. One thing that I really love, and one thing that people quite often forget about software, isn't just necessarily the customer side, but it's also your purchase ledger side, so the suppliers that you work with. And it doesn't matter what size of business you are, but you need to think about your purchase power. And what do I mean by purchase power? How often do you buy from the same supplier? Do they ever give you any discounts? What would happen if you took your business elsewhere? If you can see on a regular basis how much per year you are spending with a supplier, you should be sitting down with them minimum once a year to discuss your pricing options. The more you buy, normally, the better discounts you get. So if you can prove that you're buying more from your supplier, then go back to them and go, can we do a better deal? Can we get it a little bit cheaper? That in turn will improve your profit margin. So all little things that you can do with the data that you have at your fingertips. And although you might have had this data before, if you were using analysis books or spreadsheets, being able to pull that data into a form that you could use really easily, it would have taken you hours to pull reports together. These are all here at a click of a button. You don't have to do anything with them. That data is already there. You just need to know how to pull the information out. So hopefully some really good tips there in terms of why you should use it. For me, you should not use it. It is such a great product. The products out there are absolutely fantastic. So going to software then, what are we currently using? There are thousands upon thousands of accounting products on the market. The ones that we use most of all, personally as a practice, are QuickBooks and Xero. They are the actual market leaders now. Sage used to be the market leader when it was a desktop version. And if you've heard of Sage or used Sage in the past, you will understand that it was a great product. It was aimed more towards accountants using it, where QuickBooks, Xero, and many of the other softwares are actually aimed towards the business owner using them. So they've been simplified in such a way that anybody can do their bookkeeping and record keeping. So just to go back before we had these cloud-based products, we used to use Sage, and I would always recommend Sage because it was a fantastic product. It could do so many things. But what actually happened with the product is, and this is sort of probably showing my age a little bit now, but I used to have a disc. They used to send me a disc every year through the post. I used to install it on my PC, but it would be on one computer. So only one person at a time would be able to access that data, and it wasn't great. The one good thing about Sage was you paid a one-off fee for it, and you could probably get away with using it for 2 or 3 years before you had to upgrade it. So it didn't cost you annually. Now with the new software, they are all cloud-based software. And they are also sold on a subscription basis. So we are quite used to paying subscriptions for things now. So we probably all have our mobile phone monthly bill that we pay. We'll pay Netflix subscriptions, Prime, whatever it is that you will pay subscription. The software company has actually decided to go down the route of a monthly subscription. So when you sign up for a monthly subscription, you're more likely to stay with that business for a lot longer. You can change over your software, but obviously that then causes issues. But it's a great income generation for the software companies. And not only that, if you are having a subscription, as the software companies develop their products, and they are continually develop them. QuickBooks is a nightmare for it, I will be honest. Every time you log in, the screens change slightly and you're trying to find something. But that means that your data is always the latest version. You haven't got to download information. Not only that, but if it is cloud-based, you can actually do your accounts from anywhere. So I can do my accounts from my software. I can actually pretty much run my business from my mobile phone if I really, really wanted to, and I'm sure you can too, or my laptop or a tablet, whatever it might be. I can run everything from this. So when you are looking at software, one thing you have to be considering is what you need to pay monthly. So you need to build this within your budgets. So in terms of price points, the two leaders, QuickBooks, their prices start from about £12 a month plus VAT up to £30 a month. Xero starts at £10 a month to £30 a month. It does depend on what you need the software for. So you need to make sure that you get the right version for you and your business. So you don't have to go straight to the higher product. You might be able to get one in the middle that actually services your needs, but make sure you get the right advice. So when you're thinking about the product to buy, think about what you actually need it for. So if you are a service-based business, then you're not going to need stock control and stock management. But if you are selling products, you may need stock management. So that might be a requirement from the software that you need. Do you need the software to do integrated CRM for you? So customer relationship management system, so that's managing your leads. So if they're all in one place, will it do it for you? An important one is it compatible with your accountant? So make sure you actually speak to your accountant about the software that they support you with, because like I've said, there are thousands of products out there. So as an accountant, I don't want to actually learn how to use every single one of those products. I have picked a specific few that we can service our clients with. When you have an issue with software, the first point of call should be your accountant to say, how do I do this? Can I have some help and support? And that's what we're here for. Things like live bank feeds are really, really important as well. So can you pull the data into the software really quickly? And does it integrate with your e-commerce website? So one of the things that you're probably not aware of, if you are selling products online, in the back end of your website, or if you use eBay, or if you use Amazon, we're actually able to link the data to Xero and QuickBooks and pull that live data directly into the accounting software. We can also extract it, manipulate it, and import it. There's always more than one way to actually bring data into the accounting package. So lots of things for you to think about. It isn't just about the price, it's about what it can do for you. Do you need it to manage multi-currency? Do you need to manage imports and exports? Do you just need to raise one invoice a month? Choose what's right for you. So part and parcel of using software is all about collaboration. So over the years, as an accountant, we've changed our practice model. So quite a long time ago, 50% or more of our business was actually all about doing manual data entry. So our team would actually be sat there with boxes of records, typing each line of a bank statement in, entering an invoice in, entering a receipt in, and we'd be surrounded by bits of paper. If I could turn the camera around now, I have no filing cabinets in my office. The only paper I actually have in my office is my notepad. So I am able to do that by our clients actually collaborating with us. So what they do is process their data themselves. It's cheaper for them, it helps save them money, but it allows me to do the work that I'm actually qualified to do. So anybody can type data into a computer, but being able to understand that data is a different thing. So my time is better spent actually helping you understand what that data means. So we work with our clients, so they will do the basic data process. And what I mean by that is they will actually raise their sales invoices for themselves and send them out to their clients. And they will probably put their purchases on, so any receipts, anything that they've bought for the business. What we then do is assist the client with more technical requirements. So we will review what they have done, make sure it's all done accurately, that if you are VAT registered, you've claimed the right amount of VAT on items that should be, or if you haven't claimed for VAT on something, we can help you with that. And we also make sure the bank account is reconciled. And what I mean by reconciled is that what you've put on the software agrees to what has gone through the bank account. Once we know that's all correct, and then we can submit your VAT returns for you or help you with reports. Now, you probably think, well, I can actually do that myself. That's great if you can, it will save you money. And I just want to go back now to what HMRC requirements are. So when we started talking about digital technology, and I spoke about making tax digital, we're sort of focusing on sort of VAT returns and tax returns, what's going to happen. And at the moment, HMR can only see the 6 or 7 boxes that you submit on your VAT return. They cannot see any other data. They will in the future. So there is a section built within the software that once that data portal is opened properly, they will actually be able to see line by line each transaction that you have put on your software. Now, they're not going to sit there and check each line. They have their own software that has special algorithms and will pick out anomalies and things like this. So can you imagine what's actually going to happen? So if the data isn't correct, HMRC are going to be knocking on your door going, you've not done this properly, you've claimed VAT on something, or you've put an expense through that actually you shouldn't have claimed. Can I have my, you owe me X amount of pounds in tax? And also, because you've done it wrong, I'm also going to penalise you for you. And so I'm going to give you a penalty. And because you owe me X amount of pounds and there's a penalty, I'm also going to charge a surcharge because you shouldn't have done it in the first place. So it could be a very costly exercise for you long term if you don't do it properly. And you might think, okay, big brother here, you know, HMRC is actually checking and watching every single thing that we do. Yes, of course they are. They already are doing it. You know, how much are we actually spending through our bank now? You know, how often now do you actually use cash to purchase anything? I know me personally, I haven't actually used cash for I don't know how long, and even paying for car park, you know, it's a simple touch of my card and my car park's paid for as well. So, you know, think about where we are in terms of that digital transformation and the data that is already available out there. In terms of working with your accountant, getting the tax advice, how to manage your finances more effectively is where we as accountants should be adding value to you and your business. Even helping you obtain finance too. If I've got up-to-date information from you as a business, I can help you raise finance in your business. I can actually help build your accounts so you will be attractive to lenders. And that's much more time efficient for me as opposed to doing that sort of work, as opposed to actually doing the data processing. So really sort of have a think about how you want to move forward with your business. So next part that we want to look at, so touched on sort of the different types of software. Now with the software, that's sort of giving you the basic tools, but also we have some fantastic apps that we can also use within the software. And one of my favorite ones is one called Receipt Bank. And what I'm just going to do, I'm going to stop my share just for a second, so don't panic, and I am going to show you something. So when we started this, what did I do? I used my phone, I took a picture of something, and then I ripped a receipt up. And you're probably thinking, oh my God, I can't believe she ripped a receipt up. What I'd actually like to tell you is HMRC are really, really happy for you to keep your receipts electronically. Okay, so you don't have to keep bits of paper. So that's one of the reasons we are paperless, or almost paperless as a business. So I'm just going to re-screen share. So what I did was use an app called Receipt Bank, and this is live data. This is my live data, so you can see what I'm spending. So what I did, I took a picture of a lovely receipt, and I'm going to show you the picture that I took. Hopefully. She says. Oh, sorry, it's just logged me out. Great technology. least we know it's live. Okay, so this is the receipt I took. So you can see here, I went to Tesco's in Grimsby because I'm in Grimsby at the minute, and I bought some mince pies for the staff team for the office. It is Christmas after all, so a little bit of celebration and a few other bits and pieces for the office. And this is what I have actually bought. Receipt Bank is a piece of software that is actually artificial intelligence, and all I have done, you actually watched me do it, was take a picture. That's all I've done. So that has pulled it into the software here, and hopefully you can see the receipt again. And what it's done is actually extracted the data from the picture. So it tells me that it's a receipt, it's recognized that it's receipt. It has the date on the receipt. It knows that I've bought it from Tesco's. I didn't type Tesco's in, it's actually read it and it extracted it. It knows that it's in British pounds, and it also knows that I've actually spent £4.20 and put that amount in there. Now, if this invoice had VAT on it, it would also extract the VAT amount on here too. And it's given itself a category for staff welfare, which it is. You know, as long as I'm buying cake for the whole office, it is a tax deductible expense, trust me. If I'm just eating for myself, it's not. And so what I'm going to do is press this button called Publish. And that has gone into my QuickBooks software. That's my bookkeeping done. How amazing is that? You'll see here, I've got another one. So there's lots of different ways you can actually use Receipt Bank. So the first one is I've actually taken a picture of the image. This one, I actually sent from my inbox. So a lot of people now will email you their invoices over to you, and the invoice is an attachment, normally a PDF attachment, and I can just send, in fact I shall show you, I don't know if you can see my emails, but I actually have saved one in here. I'm going to forward this email to my Receipt Bank email, and I can delete that. So I go back to my Receipt Bank, it takes about 2 or 3 minutes, but that will be received. It will extract the data out of my email, recognize that there's an invoice in there, read it, convert it, and then put it into my software. So with this one here that I did the other day, my Activate technology, so this is for our printers and the Lincoln office. I haven't done anything with this. I have literally just forwarded it via email. It has got the date of the invoice, the supplier, the invoice number, it's extracted the invoice number for me, and the date that it's due to be paid, that it's a printing expense, and as you can see here, we've actually got the net amount, the VAT and the overall total, all extracted from the invoice. I haven't done any typing. What the software does, because it is artificial intelligence, it actually learns what to do. So every time you do something, it will then remember what you did last time and prompt you to do the same thing again. If you want to code something to a different expense, you can absolutely do that. But it will always say, this is what you did last time, do you want to do it? So what I actually want to show you, and hopefully you can see this again, I'm just going to go into my QuickBooks so you can actually see what happened. And let me go to my expenses. So the receipt that I've just processed is already in my QuickBooks. So today's date, it's Tesco staff welfare, £4.20. I'll even go into the transaction for you. And down here is my receipt. I haven't had to attach it, it's already there. And that's why I can tear my receipt up quite nicely and not worry about it. So how fantastic is that? And how quick was that? So that was like super, super quick. So if you're one of those people that actually don't like to do their record keeping and bookkeeping and always promise themselves that they are going to do it on a daily basis, and then it turns into, I'll do it next week, and all of a sudden you've got a month's worth of work to do, it's kind of like, oh my God. But if you can do it as you come in, then how much easier is this going to make your life? Really, really fantastic. So I'm just going to stop sharing again for a very quick second and go back to our slides. So hopefully you can see our slides again. Okay. Sorry?
Not come up yet, I don't think.
Oh, they're not come up yet. Oh, right, sorry. Let me try again. There we go. Can you see them now?
Yeah, they're great. Yeah. Could I just ask you one quick question? That receipt bank looks amazing because you know we use Xero and expenses. You've got to type a lot of the details in. That just but presumably it interacts perfectly with Xero as well as it will with QuickBooks as other accounting softwares as well.
Absolutely, yeah. It isn't just for. What I'd just like to say is this product is interactive with a huge amount of other accounting softwares, Sage Online, Xero, QuickBooks, Free Agent, all sorts. So Xero and QuickBooks have their own little app that you can use where you can take pictures and everything else, but it isn't as good as this one. So
no, definitely not. From experience, that's really good. That is. Well, is there a cost to it, or is it a free app?
There is a cost to it, but if your accountant uses it, so for example, we pay a monthly subscription for it, but we can have as many users as we want to it. So we actually offer it free to our clients. Now,
yeah, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, so the reason that we do that, you're probably thinking, oh my God, actually that's a good deal for us as a client, but what are you getting out of it? Actually, one of the things that we can use the software as an accounting practice, we can scan bank statements into the software and it extracts it and turns it into an Excel document, CSV document, that we can then manipulate and format. So we have been spending years and years sitting there typing each line as we go with these bank statements. Yeah. So we can now reduce our data entry time for year-end account work. So the savings we make there means that we're able to pass the savings essentially onto the client by offering it free to the client. Right. Just to give you a rough idea, for us as a practice, we spend £300 a month on this piece of software, but it's worth every penny. Worth every penny of it. So thanks, yes,
that's great.
So if there is one takeaway from today, that is it. So Receipt Bank is where you should be using. It is absolutely incredible. Receipt Bank should definitely have me on a commission base for their product.
Quite right, so.
In terms of other apps that you can use for your business, now this is where you can adapt the software to your specific industry needs. So we have things, there's a product that is owned by QuickBooks called Timesheets, but it also can be utilized again in Xero. And what it does, if you have a labor-based business, so you could be in the construction industry, you could even IT service, any service-based business, you can use this. You actually get your staff to complete a timesheet. And you're probably thinking, oh, that's rubbish. Don't want my staff to keep timesheets. But actually, the timesheet app is more than actually just keeping the time of what your staff are working and therefore what you're paying them. It actually allows you to assign time to a particular client project. So if you are a project-based business, you want to know how much time your team are spending on that project, and therefore you can bill for it correctly. And what it allows you to do is see overall how much time they've spent, and then you can make that decision of what is actually chargeable to the client, or if you have set a budget for that client and how much time you've got to spend on it. Are you profitable, or do you actually need to go back to the client and say, actually, the work's taken us longer than what we anticipated because of X, Y, Z. We need to charge you some more money. You know, quite often we're all a bit too scared to go back to the client and say it's costing more than what we thought. When we price for labour-based jobs, it's always is a guess, it's an estimate of how long something will take, and there can always be issues that runs alongside that. So having that ability to track that income and expense using this is a fabulous way if you're a labour-based business. Obviously, the other side of it is you can keep track of when your employees are working. So at the minute, if your employees are working from home, they have to log their time when they start and finish a job. So you can actually see what it is they are or they are not doing and how efficient they are being. Another add-on might be Method CRM. So although both Xero and QuickBooks allows you to capture your client data, it isn't a proper all singing, all dancing CRM system. So you can actually attach a CRM system to the products, and what that will then allow you to do is manage your sales pipeline. And once you've actually won that business, you can then turn that pipeline introduction into an actual client. So if you filled your CRM system out correctly, you've got the client's full name, address, details, and all the data that you've gathered when you've made that sales connection, that then goes into the software, so you haven't got to create it all over again. Saves duplications, errors, all of that sort of thing. So again, speeding up the time for you. We've actually got a client who uses Xero, and one of the things that they do, they're actually a garage, so they repair cars, all sorts of different cars. Obviously they have to order parts. And Xero and QuickBooks and a lot of the other accounting software can't actually deal with the parts ordering side of it. They can't do the job cards for the actual working of the garage itself. So there's actually a workshop software that you can also attach to QuickBooks and to Xero. And what this allows you to do is use all the functions that you need from a garage software. So you can create the job card, and on a job card, when you work in the motor industry, you need specific information for the engineer who will be working on your vehicle. So that engineer is going to need the serial number of the vehicle, registration number when they're trying to find your car in the car park with the keys and then walking around, and obviously importantly they'll need to know what they're going to be doing that day on your job. So once they've got that information on the job card, they can then book any parts they've used, so any oil, other bits and pieces, and their time to their job card. So in the garage software, they were actually doing all of this process. And traditionally, if you've then done that, you then have to manually raise an invoice. So you have to use one system for your job card, and then you're using another system to raise an invoice. Well, actually what this app allows you to do is turn this job card into an invoice and publishes it directly into Xero or QuickBooks for you. So again, a huge time-saving opportunity for businesses in that area. One really good one is eBay by OneSaaS. So if you're an e-commerce business and you are selling lots online, then having the ability to attach your income stream into your software directly is really, really important, especially if you are selling small value products. So quite a lot of retailers, we have one that actually sells digital codes. So each value of sale is something like £3, £3-4. It's not huge amounts per sale, but they are selling thousands upon thousands of these codes. So if you had to enter every single line into your software, you would be there for hours upon hours. So by using this sort of app, it automatically brings all of that data in for you, which is really, really, really helpful and speeds up the whole time process for you. There are lots and lots of other apps out there. This is just a sample of a couple that I think will be really, really useful for you. But we need to make sure, obviously, that you are picking the right choices for your business. Okay, so next section is how to get paid more efficiently by using software. So I've already shown you Receipt Bank and how awesome that is. Now the actual software itself, QuickBooks and Xero, has some really, really cool tricks in there. And if you know how to use the software correctly, again, it will save you time, but it will also help you get paid more efficiently. One of QuickBooks' aims and one of their taglines is get paid faster. So if you've watched any of the adverts online, it's all about how quick can you get paid. So we've already talked about you receiving your purchase invoices electronically. So why not make sure that you send your sales invoices electronically? So stop printing and posting, start emailing, and make sure your clients are happy with that. It will help reduce the carbon footprint as well of your business. So really, really important. So one of the really cool tools in QuickBooks is that you can actually track your invoice. So once it's been sent to your client, you will know whether they have received it. If you track your invoice and you switch your tracking on, you can even see the date and time that your customer opened that invoice. How many times have you been told by your customer, no, I didn't get the invoice, and obviously it delays that payment? Now you can actually say, actually, you opened that invoice and attachment on the 17th of December at 9:30 a.m. and the client won't be able to say anything. Just pay us the bill. That's all you need to be asked. So there's no more excuses from the customer firm. The other thing that you can do on your invoices, and again, you can do this both with Xero and QuickBooks, is have embedded links into your invoice. So these are really, really key at this moment in time. How quick do you want to get paid? As quick as you can. So embedded links means that you are putting almost a website link so you can be paid faster. So you can use it for Go Cardless. So Go Cardless is a great tool if you haven't heard of it before. It allows you to collect payments from your customers by direct debit. If you have a recurring revenue stream, this is an app and a service that I would recommend that you actually look at, because it's a great way of getting paid and controlling when you get paid. You can also have a link to your card payment solution. So that might be Stripe, Google Checkout, whatever it might be, you can actually link it up. And that means that when the customer goes to pay, they click on the link, it takes them to the portal, they put their card details in, they're not having to give them to you, you take the payment, and 3 or 4 days later that money is in your bank account and you haven't had to do any chasing. With QuickBooks, they have also now launched a new Pay by PayPal link within your invoice link. And they have also, I'm not sure if they've actually fully launched it yet, but I know it is on the cards to launch a PayPal wallet, essentially, within your QuickBooks software. So not only will you be able to collect payments through QuickBooks software, you'll also be able to make payments through it by using PayPal. So the future of actually collecting money and paying money is going to change dramatically over the course of the next few years. So do be aware of that. Sorry. So the next is power of automation that we're wanting to look at. Sorry, I'm just messing around with my machine here. So I've already showed you, as I say, how amazing and how quick Receipt Bank actually is, and how that can actually speed the processes up in your business. But also there are other things that you should be doing as a matter of course to improve how quickly you do things within your accounting software. So one of these is actually linking your bank account to your software. Some people are scared of actually putting their online banking details into the accounting software. But you shouldn't actually be scared at all. At the moment, the only access that is linked to the software is actually just to download that bank information in terms of the statement data. You cannot do anything else within the software in terms of making payments or anything like that. It is just drawing the data stream in. I also would like to sort of say with both QuickBooks and Xero, you can actually have two-step authentication, which means that when you log into the software, it is more secure for you. So you will log in with a password, and then you will get sent a PIN to your mobile phone, for example, where you can then log in and put that information in. So don't be scared about doing it. It is a great thing to do. Not all banks can be linked, but the majority of the high street banks can. When they first launched this element of the product, the banks actually used to charge you your bank fees to pull that data in. There's very few banks that charge anymore because even the banks are adapting to this sort of technology. So why actually have the bank account attached to the software? If you're pulling in the data on a live basis, it makes it so much quicker for you to actually, again, keep on top of your accounts. So if you've got money coming in the bank, most of the links will update minimum of every 24 hours, sometimes every hour, sometimes instantaneously. So that means that your software is continually up to date and synced with your bank account. So you can then go into your software on a daily basis and process the payments against customers that have paid you. So you don't have to wait for your bookkeeper or whoever does your accounting to come in. You can actually go and do it yourself and say, yes, that customer's paid me. Yes, 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 all done. And there's a really good reason for doing that. Is because one of the automations that you can actually do is send out invoice reminders, automated invoice reminders out to your customers. Both Xero and QuickBooks are really great for doing this. I think Xero has a better monopoly on this side because you can actually set how often those reminders are actually sent. So once the invoice is raised, the client then might get a reminder 7 days later or 14 days, and then they will continually get a reminder every few days after the due date to say, hey, this invoice still needs to be paid. And the polite reminders, you know, we're not screaming at your customers going, oh, you pay us now, but we're just saying, this invoice is still outstanding, come on, please pay us. And it saves you actually having to do it yourself, so you're not having to send statements out. It will do the individual invoices. So if you don't mark your payments off on a regular basis, what you can then end up finding is you're chasing for a payment that you've already received, and obviously that's not great in terms of client relationship. Another item that you can actually do is automate your invoices that might be recurring invoices. So I'm just going to stop the screen share again, come out of my presentation. And yeah, just making sure I'm still logged into my QuickBooks. So hopefully you will be able to see my QuickBooks again. So what I want to show you what I do, and the reason that I'm showing you this is because actually we use recurring invoices a huge amount in our business. So we raise hundreds upon hundreds of invoices every single month because we offer fixed price servicing to our clients, which means we agree a fee set ahead of time, and then the client pays us monthly for that service. And what we do is raise what's called a recurring invoice. So I'm just going to my tool section here in settings, and you can see in QuickBooks I can do lots and lots of different things. But if I go to my recurring transactions, you will actually be able to see that I have got lots of invoices here that are automated for our clients. So one of the things that we actually do is we obviously provide software services to our clients, and the software we get billed for monthly, so we need to make sure that we bill our clients on a monthly basis. And I'm going to show you how easy this is. So I've just clicked into a new transaction, so I'm going to do an invoice first. So it's asking me what type of transaction I'm going to do. I'm going to do an invoice, and I'm going to call this test invoice. And I'm hoping I have I'm going to create a new client called test just for the purpose of this. Okay. And this is accounting services. The fee for this is £50 a month. It's calculating at the bottom here the VAT element for me, and I can put my client email in here. So I'm going to email myself this invoice, and now here it's asking me how often do I want to send this invoice. So I can send the invoice daily if I wanted to, weekly, monthly, or yearly. So if we've got some clients who have a yearly fee, then that's great. I don't have to remember about it. I've already set it up. Monthly, weekly. I can then decide what day of the month I want this invoice to be automated. I can also say how many times do I want this invoice sending out. So it may be when you have recurring invoices, so if you're on a fixed fee contract, that you have agreed a 12-month term, so you're going to have 12 invoices that you want. So we want it every month, but you can have an end date on it. So if we start date, so the 21st, and then we can also enter an end date. So if you only want it running for 12 months, we can set the end date for 12 months later. Okay. So if we want to send this every 2 months, we would change it. We're going to send it, it's a monthly fee, but we're going to send it bi-monthly. So we can do whatever it is that we need to do. Once we're happy with it, we save it, and it will automatically generate the invoice for us at the time that the invoice needs to be raised. And if I've got the information set in there for the client, and I check this box called automatically send the emails, I haven't even got to go in and check the invoice. The invoice will be sent automatically every single month to that client until I stop it, which is fantastic. So again, if you've got the ability to do that, it is something I would really suggest that you do. So as well as doing your sales invoices, you can also do your expenses too. So think about things that you have continually on a recurring basis. So if you have a look what's going through your bank account or what you pay every single month, you might be paying things like your rent on a monthly basis, or your insurance on a monthly basis. So we can also create a monthly bill that we know we are going to incur. And again, the same principle applies. So we create a template. We can use a supplier name, and then we can categorize where that expense wants to be and process it. So every single month, even without receiving the invoice from that supplier, or if you, as I say, with insurance, you don't get an invoice, you might get an annual bill, but you don't get an invoice. You can actually process the transaction through this way. So it really, really speeds up what you're doing. I will sort of give a word of caution when you are using this. You do need to make sure that you regularly check that what you're doing is accurate, because obviously things do change, and if you just let them run and run and run and run, what will happen is it will, you could end up having to make more corrections to the software than you actually need to. So just bear with me 1 second. I'm just going to go back to screen share if I can. So hopefully you can see the slides again, hope. So you can see clearly here why that is going to be really, really useful to you if we can set those processes up within the software. It really is a huge time-saving event for you. Right, so on to, so that is all in terms of what we're going to be talking about today. I can't believe we've already covered it. I thought we had more. So do any of you have any questions? I mean, now is a great opportunity to ask me something about the software that you're using and if you can do something with it.
I have to say, it's been some really useful tips there, Colette, and yeah, some of the apps and what have you look really good. I had one item in the chat so far from Catherine, just saying thank you for a great seminar. That was really useful. What I will do, Catherine, is just we just as part of what we do in terms of ensuring you know that you're happy with everything, is just to launch a quick poll. If you and Ian would be good enough just to complete that whilst we're taking any questions, that would be great. We'll just leave that running for a few moments. But no, a couple of things there. I think the receipt bank, I know we've spoken about that before, just sounds amazing, and we'll certainly have a look at some of the other links as well, because you know, the easy integration with things like Xero and what have you, some of this is just absolutely invaluable and just a massive time saving. But it's not just the time saving, it's the control, isn't it, that you just get, and you can get your team more actively involved in some of this with, you know, with sort of invoicing and giving feedback on invoices received and chasing outstanding monies and so on. It really works fantastically well if you get your processes right alongside it.
Absolutely. This is all a case of introducing new processes within your business. So I don't raise invoices to my clients. Actually, one of my team members does that for me. One of the things that I actually forgot to sort of mention, probably because I lost my notes at some point, so I do apologise. Joys of technology, but actually you can invite users into your Xero and QuickBooks. So if you do want staff to take responsibility, for example, for raising sales invoices, but you don't want them to have access to the rest of your financial data, you can restrict their access so they can only see the elements that you want to share with them. And I think that's a really key tool to sort of say, not only collaborating with your accountant externally, but collaborating with your team internally and building those processes within the team.
Yeah. That's great. There's no immediate questions coming up, so we'll leave the poll open. Catherine, thanks for confirming. I think you maybe just need to hit enter at the end. I'm just going to very briefly, before we close and whilst you're answering those questions, just to share a little bit more information about the ICT support that's available for SMEs in the Humber area. So hopefully I should be able to move the slides forward. Okay, great. Yeah, so it's just very briefly, there's a number of support options available through the website there, growmysme.co.uk. You can see there access to grants and investment advisory, one-to-one business growth, expert mentoring. And then there's some specialist support areas, supply chain network, digital catalyst, and business scale up. We're particularly interested in and are delivering the Digital Catalyst program, which provides one-to-one support for businesses to adopt digital technologies more effectively. And that can range from anything from, you know, some of the applications that Colette's mentioned today, the implementation of those to perhaps more sort of emerging technologies like sort of, you know, use of data, artificial intelligence, again, which we've talked about today, and so on. We have a team of technology specialists that have been assembled that will provide an initial assessment of the technologies that are being used within the business, and then look for sort of, you know, where the existing strengths are, but also any gaps or opportunities. And then they'll work to try and find the best applications for you, really, for your business. So within budget and so on. But mostly, you know, with the arm, what's going to give you the greatest return, how will it work? Will work with what you have, how you can get more out of your existing technologies as well. So yeah, it's you know, it's so quite comprehensive, completely free of charge as well, and we'll also look for, depending on what comes out of the action plan with the individual digital roadmap for your business, we'll look for other support or grants available that will allow you to will help to take it forward. So we will contact you further to assess interest. Catherine, I think you've probably heard this a few times before, actually. So Ian, you might have done as well. But yeah, it's working really well. And there's the joys of working at home. Well, Cat just appeared. Yeah, it's yeah, we can obviously you know, we can still work with you to provide that support. So as I say, we'll follow up with you on that. Ian, you asked about the slides. Yes, we can certainly make those available to you. We'll arrange that after the session. So I think in terms of the structured part of the session, just trying to move forward again. Just checking the poll. Yeah, I don't. For some reason, it's not actually showing any responses as yet. So please just have a look, see if you have completed. Just if you've submitted, yeah, actually hit the submit. But yeah, just a big thanks from me for and for us for attending today, for investing your time in this. Colette, mainly big thanks to you for it as well. It's been really, really interesting, some fascinating insights there, which you know, which I think certainly I've gained a lot from, and hopefully everybody else here has as well. So much appreciated. Happy to take any final questions. So certainly I'll stay online, and Colette, if you're able to as well.
Yeah, happy to stay online. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Brilliant. That's great.
Yeah.
Did I just call you Catherine? Oh no, that was,
no, you did call me Colette.
Right. one of the delegates, I thought, oh, no, that's not what I want to do. But no, just as I say, big thanks to you all for attending, and as I say, particularly to yourself, Colette.
Yeah, great. Thank you for having me all. And if you do have any questions, even after the session, you can always message me through LinkedIn, or if you go to info@spenceaccounting.co.uk. I'm always happy to answer any questions. If we can help you, we will.
Fabulous. That sounds great. I'll just check the chat one more time. I think we're good. So I'll move to close off then. So enjoy the rest of the day, everybody, and of course, Merry Christmas.